Hey there, and welcome into another exciting episode of A for Effort. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we start off giving thanks to our unofficial sponsor of the podcast, AMC A-List. $19.95 a month gets you 3 movies a week at local AMC theaters in your area. Check AMC.com for theater listings and offer availability. But on today's episode, you do not need to go to AMC theaters. You don't even need to leave the comfort of your own home, because we're reviewing the Netflix original, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. I saw a trailer for this movie 5-6 months ago and was really intrigued by it, and really found myself intrigued by the story of Ted Bundy. Now, I don't know much about him. I wasn't around for when he was alive. I wasn't around when his murders took place, but I was intrigued by the casting of Zac Efron, and I was intrigued by the story of the film. Then I heard the rights had been purchased by Netflix. A little bit more on that later. And I was excited for the release of this film. So, was it any good? Absolutely. It was really great. I had a good time watching this movie. You know, when the trailer first dropped, there was a lot of slack because people were like, why are we sexualizing Ted Bundy by casting Zac Efron? And through watching this film, I realized that this was the exact perfect casting, because from the real life footage we saw at the end during the credits, he was very charismatic and very charming, and Zac Efron was the perfect charismatic actor to play Ted Bundy. They have a striking resemblance, very subtly, but it's there. And you know, overall the film was just really, really good, and I was not taken out of it by Zac Efron. In fact, I was more into it because Zac Efron was playing the role so charismatic. At certain points, I looked over at my wife and was like, part of me wants to think this guy didn't do it. But obviously, we know that's not the case. And it's crazy to believe that this man had so many people fooled into thinking that he didn't have anything to do with these crimes. You know, his own girlfriend at the time, who eventually we find out was the reason why he was even a suspect, still didn't believe he had anything to do with it. You know, she drove herself into a alcoholic binging rage because she just couldn't live with what she had done and possibly caused an innocent man to death. But later do we find out that he's not innocent at all. And it's really a great story from the perspective of the girlfriend. It's a story told from her perspective, from her memoirs about dating Ted Bundy and everything that he put her through in the years that he was in prison. You know, it was, like I said, it was an interesting take on a serial killer's story, and it was a dramatic retelling of her story. You know, it starred Zac Efron. Lily Collins played the girlfriend. James Hetfield from Metallica played the lead detective in Colorado. Kaya Scodelain played Ted Bundy's wife. Jim Parsons played the lead prosecutor in Florida. Haley Joel Osment and John Malkovich round out the cast. I really, like I said, I had a great time watching this movie. I found myself really rooting for Ted throughout the movie, maybe he'll get out of it. And the crazy part about it is obviously he was a serial killer, and obviously he was evil. But when you're watching it, and I know this is what they were going for by casting Zac Efron, you're rooting for the guy. You're rooting for him to gain his freedom. You know, even when he breaks out of prison twice, you sympathize. And it's an intriguing story the way it was told, because I really did wow, was this guy innocent? Because at one point they say 200 fingerprints were taken from the scene, none of them matched Ted Bundy's. I was like, wow, is this guy innocent? Is there a chance that he's innocent? And obviously we know that that's not the case, he's not. But how just, wow. That's all I can say is wow. I mean, it was a great movie. Zac was just amazing. The whole cast was, and there's a lot of scenes that are just directly ripped from the media when this became the first nationwide telecast of a trial. I mean, that are just completely ripped. The title's ripped from a scene in the movie, also from a scene in real life. You just feel in this moment, it gives you all the feels, good and bad. I really enjoyed this A+ for Netflix for Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. A+, great movie, definitely worth the watch. You don't gotta leave your own home. If you got the Netflix subscription, check it out. It's really worth the watch. I had a good time watching this movie. Kept me on the edge of my seat guessing whether or not this guy actually committed these crimes, and obviously, as history has it, he did. But man, they had me for an hour of this movie, just second guessing myself over and over and over again. And I think that's the sign of a good filmmaker and a sign of a great movie, is that they can make you believe what they want you to believe, and that's really awesome and really intriguing, and I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I've been your host, Matt. Check us out on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Come back to us next time on A for Effort, and we will have another quality movie review.